What have you experienced? What have your colleagues experienced? And what are you doing to deal with these crazy people?
Oh my, what have we experienced? Well, as you said, traveling public has just changed quite a bit. There's like the respect level for us is like pretty much zero. I don't think they realize we're like really in flight first responders. We're there in case you have a heart attack. We're there if something occurs on that aircraft. Do you actually know we're even trained? We're literally, we do scenarios and stuff on how to move an incendiary device on the aircraft to make sure that the airplane's integrity stays intact. Our job is to make sure the cockpit door is secure at all times. And I don't respect that.
Are you training in any sort of self-defense to deal with these violent passengers? Because I would take karate or something like that if that was me.
Yes. I started training before all of this went haywire most recently, because there's always been lots of incidents. It just seems to have become more extreme. I trained with a female MMA fighter. Her name is Emily Ducote. I started training with her 2 years ago because I said I wanted to be able to protect myself. And I didn't want to take just some basic random self-defense. I really be able to truly protect myself.
So you're training in mixed martial arts. So you're learning how to do chokeholds and head strikes, and oh my God, I'd tap out if you came after me, but you know what? That's fine. I duct tape me if you have to, Mason. All right, Sonia, you were an air marshal for many, many years. And why aren't there more air marshals on these flights? Every time I see this, it's either the flight attendants or the passengers that have to get in and separate violent flyers. Why aren't they just having an air marshal on every single flight?
Well, Jesse, thanks for having me today. That answer is pretty simple. The Federal Air Marshal Service does not have the resources. Our capacity to fly on these aircraft since 9/11 has degraded. We're down less than 50% on air marshals, so there are absolutely no resources. Recently, the director of the Air Marshal Service, Mike Anderson, testified in front of the House Homeland Security Committee on a subcommittee that we had adequate resources to try to help and, you know, help the flight attendants when they have these situations on the aircraft. But in reality, Jesse, we have disintegrated to almost no resources in the Federal Air Marshal Service.
Wait a second, Sonia, you're saying with all the taxes that I pay, and I pay a lot of taxes, you're saying Joe Biden's throwing around trillions in infrastructure? Trillions in infrastructure. And we can't spend a couple mil putting air marshals on these flights? I mean, these flights look like the Octagon. Look at the video we're showing you. It's unbelievable that they're saying that we don't have enough money. Now, you were also involved with some of these confrontations. If you're a passenger and someone gets unruly next to you, should you get involved if there's no air marshal? Or should you try like a rear naked choke? What would you suggest we do?
Well, I suggest the first thing you got to do is to try to de-escalate. That's the first thing you want to do, is to try to calm the situation down. If somebody's being physically aggressive, you absolutely better believe that we're going to put them in a chokehold. You need to take action. That person can harm you. You're 35,000 feet above sea level there. There's no error for anything to go wrong. Take action. Put those people on the ground. Tape them up. Handcuff them. Do whatever you need to do.
All right. Well, I think Mason and Sonia just put the fear of God in every flyer out there. Don't mess with these ladies, all right? It's not going to go well. Thank you two very much, and stay safe, Mason.
Thank you,
stay
Jesse.
safe. All right.
Chicago, you got to be ready, man. I don't know how to reiterate that. Like, ain't no second chances, man. When we turn these alleys right here, you're going to already see the shorties on top of the cars. They know the cars. You gotta come through here slow. You can't come speeding up through our block there, shoot it up.
We out here for real. No playing out here on GG.
Chicago is now the deadliest city in America with over 500 murders this year. It's more deadly than Afghanistan. Over the last 2 decades, more Americans were shot dead in Chicago than Afghanistan. Thousands more. Violence is spreading there in big cities across the country. In Chicago alone, carjacking, sexual assaults, and murders all up. And what's worse, police officers are being outnumbered by gang members almost 10 to 1. 10 to 1. As the department sees the most retirements in history. I recently spoke to Pete Keller, a former gang member who spent time in prison years ago and now works to help people turn their lives around like he did. So, Peter, the gang activity in Chicago really exploded in the 80s. Was that all about drugs in that decade?
Yeah, you got to think in the 80s, Jesse, you know, there was so much going on with the Reaganomics. And as we know, the CIA brought in a lot of drugs to dismantle the family. And so what happened was, is if the father's gone out of the house, which we call chasing Jason, meaning after the drugs, the mother has to fence now and has to go out and get the job. Now, where does that leave the kids? The kids drift off to the street, join the gangs, and the false sense of love administers between the two. So now if I give you a whole bunch of what we call jab sacks, which is a bunch of crack or heroin, and I tell you, hey, look, now you can go get your Jordans. Now you can go, get the things that you need. Now you have an allowance. And so now my false sense of love hits in, but I don't tell you about you're going to catch a record. You're going to have to run from the police. I'm not going to come visit you while you're locked up. So now this starts the whole escalation of a whole criminal record, and this is what we're faced with here in Chicago.
So they flood the streets with drugs, gets the fathers hooked or gets them selling it and then locked up. So the kids have no parents, only the mother's around, no father figure, and then they get preyed on by the gangs to enter the gang life, and it's just a vicious cycle. You told our producers there used to be a gang code, but there's no gang code anymore. What did you mean by that?
Well, what they had is they had a thing that that they started way on the top, which is called Operation Snakehead, when they took all the gang leaders from different various gangs here in Chicago and basically locked them up under the RICO Act. And so what that means is basically because you're associated by being associated, you have a case now. And so when they took these gangs, which were the leaders of the gangs, they took each gang through the city, the leaders, and the bodies started falling. So when it's like the famous cliche, when the cat is away, the kittens play. So now that the leaders that had structure are gone, what happens? The gang members, which already were kind of antsy, to kind of break loose and be renegade, now become strictly that, completely renegade.
So there's no discipline anymore because they cut the head off the snake.
No structure, no discipline. There used to be what we had a go-to guy. And what that meant is if your mom got her purse snatched, you used to be able to go to somebody and say, hey, look, my mom just got her purse snatched. What can we do? Within that hour, you get the purse back. The money might not be there, but you get the purse back. Now there's no go-to guy.
Right.
Because nobody cares. No
so
structure.
How much do guns play? Because you hear from the administration, oh, you just got to get these illegal guns out of there, go after the illegal gun traffickers. In your opinion, is that the key to solving the gang violence?
No, not at all. As we know, that too within itself is a cycle because the guns are mostly brought here on freight trains, which come, from New York, from the East Coast to the West Coast to L.A. And what happens is these kids hit the train yards. And it's just ironic how the one with the guns on it doesn't have any locks on it. So a lot of kids are getting these guns off the trains, ready to go, and semi-automatic stuff that you'd never see in the hood, and then they're out there using them.
Right.
Secondly, the gangs are now against each other since there's no structure. Now it's block against block, all for the drugs. So remember, it has to be funded by something. So our goal as ULON is try to catch the kids to redirect their mind before they get into the gangs, or once you're in a gang, we do the power to get you up out of the gang.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job, and you're right. You got to get in with the kids early. The earlier the better, because once they get preyed on in their teens, it's over. And there's nothing you can do almost to save them. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Pete. We really appreciate you coming on Water's World. We'll have you back for some more insights.
Man, no problem, man. Blessings.
Coming up, death worship and human sacrifice. An exclusive look at the cults controlling drug cartels.
Talk to me, baby. I'm going up on this sweet baby. Whoa. Let's lose our minds and go crazy, crazy. Ay, 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 ay. Keep on hoping we'll be cake by the ocean. Walk for me, baby. I'll be pretty, you'll be Naomi.
Hey, Kim! With 5% cash back on travel purchase through Chase from Freedom Unlimited, you're always earning. Book that hotel, Kim, because you are worth it.
I am worth it.
Earn 5% on travel purchase through Chase and so much more. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Oh, That spin class was brutal.
Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
It's Buick Envision. That's a really tight spot. I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
The all-new Buick Envision, built around you, all of you. Pay no interest for 72 months, plus current eligible Buick owners get $500 purchase allowance on 2021 Buick SUV models.
It's time for the biggest sale of the year on the new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed. It helps keep you effortlessly comfortable by sensing your movements and automatically responding to both of you. And it's temperature balancing to help you stay comfortable all night. It even tracks your circadian rhythm so you know when you're at your best. In other words, it's the most energy-building, wellness-boosting, parent-powering, proven quality night's sleep we've ever made. Save 50% on the new Sleep Number 360 limited edition Smart Bed, plus 0% interest for 36 months and free premium delivery. Ends Labor Day.
Honey latte.
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Oh, it's Hack Me.
It's easy to be unsafe.
Mom, what's your 401k number?
Now it's easy to help protect yourself. Opt in to cyber safety at Norton.com.
This old toilet won't quit. It's fine, though. I'm a member of American Home Shield. They cover items no matter their age. Oh, shelves clean.
Fur, you won't faze me. Unlike Zyrtec, Allegra won't make me drowsy.
And Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin.
So when allergies attack,
take Allegra before your symptoms take over you. And for congestion relief, find Allegra D at your pharmacy.
Turn your passion into a paycheck. Start your business and keep it running with LegalZoom. LegalZoom, let's make it official.
We gave new ZzzQuil Pure Z's restorative herbal sleep to people who were tired of being tired.
I've never slept like this before. I've never woken up like this before.
Crafted with clinically studied plant-based ingredients that work naturally with your body for restorative sleep like never before.
Sundays.
It's time to take a bigger look at this.
Mark tackles our nation's latest headlines and makes sense of the issues that matter most. Sundays at 8 on Life, Liberty, and Levin.
Introducing Glass Office Chair Mats by Vitraza, the premium alternative to cracked, curled, and worn-out plastic mats. Now you'll always get a smooth, easy glide because super strong Vitraza glass chair mats made right here in the USA are engineered to hold over 1,000 pounds and never dent. They're also protected with a nanotech coating, and they're beautiful. Comfort, style, durability. A Vitraza glass chair mat will completely transform your workspace, home office, or office. Buy direct at Vitraza.com. We're so confident you'll love it, we give you a lifetime warranty and a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. It's the last chair mat you'll have to buy, I promise. Give up on worn-out plastic mats and get the look you deserve. We stock 18 popular sizes and we'll ship free right to your front door. Use promo code SUMMER to get 15% off any glass chair mat this Labor Day weekend at Vitraza.com.
Cartels flooding our border aren't just about drugs and human trafficking. It's about cults, human sacrifices, worshiping death saints, and exploitation. The Mexican cartels explain away their violent and criminal behavior through cult fanaticism. They follow these narco saints to deflect from their crimes. Many of them follow a cult, Santa Muerte, connected to the criminal underworld. Santa Muerte itself translates to Saint Death or Holy Death. It's represented through a skeletal figure holding a scythe. She's often depicted as a narco saint, meaning one for those involved in the drug cartels. It's a fast-growing cult in Mexico with symbols of it on cars, statues, jewelry, even cupcakes. Not just criminals follow Santa Muerte. Some of the poorer class in Mexico view her more as an all-purpose saint. It's said to have millions of followers, but still Catholic and Protestant churches condemn Santa Muerte. President Felipe Calderon declared her Mexico's enemy and had her shrines for her bulldozed down in 2009. Members of the cult often wear pendants symbolizing the cult for protection. Here's a La Linea operative with a Santa Muerte pendant. Sometimes they get tattoos to give them protection for their crimes.
They see it as an offering of skin. Here's a Barrio Azteca drug trafficker with a Santa Muerte tattoo. Some see Santa Muerte as the devil herself, or a fake saint devoted to holy death. Human sacrifice has become popular among the cartels. In many cases, people are killed in Santa Muerte shrines and in the form of rituals, sometimes as an offering to her. They often behead or torture people, and they believe it's all going to be okay. The cartels believe Santa Muerte is protecting them and is still going to take them to heaven no matter what crimes they commit. The Huffington Post reported many believe that she sanctions, if not blesses, such despicable deeds. In 2019, police found over 40 skulls covered in blood, a fetus in a jar, and dozens of bones in what they deemed to be a Santeria ritual meant to help the killers avoid getting arrested in Mexico City. Santeria rituals are often used to give offerings to Santa Muerte. The killers were believed to be part of the La Union Tepito cartel. In 2017, cartel members in jail killed 28 prisoners in the middle of a ritual to Santa Muerte in Acapulco, Mexico, according to Mexican newspaper Reforma. This has been going on for years. In 2008, according to the FBI, Gulf cartel members captured Sinaloa cartel members and killed them at a public Santa Muerte shrine. Law enforcement said they were likely killed as offerings to Santa Muerte. Human sacrifices are seen as offerings to this fake saint. They somehow think the saint is condoning their behavior and is giving them more power in the narco world, making them all the more dangerous. It's not just Santa Muerte that cartel members worship, though. Here's Ovidio Guzman Lopez, son of the infamous El Chapo Guzman, and a Mexican drug lord himself, a high-ranking member of the Sinaloa cartel. His pendant is another narco saint, the Holy Infant of Atocha. He wears his pendant for protection for crimes. Cartel members often use religion as a means of explaining away these crimes. What used to be the notorious Mexican La Familia Michoacana drug cartel used the idea of religion to kill people. Their former leader, Nazario Moreno Gonzalez, preached that they were allowed to behead their enemies because it's their divine right to get rid of them, divine justice. It has now been reconstituted as Los Caballeros Templarios, still using the idea of religion to control their members. These cults cartel members are in make them even more dangerous and more ruthless. These are the people we're letting into our country with our open borders policies. Here to tell us more, host of No Agenda on Fox Nation, Lara Logan. First, we just want to thank Lara for doing a lot of the investigation that revealed what we just told you about. Lara, thank you for that, and tell us why Americans need to understand the cult angle to the cartel crisis.
Well, this is a bottom-up phenomenon within the cults, Jesse, and it dates right back to the Aztecs, who were never really conquered by the Spanish on military tactics alone. It was smallpox that decimated them. And so this is left over from the ancient Aztec religions. And it's a way that, cult capos and squad leaders, if you like, use to recruit and also to keep these guys under their control and also to justify the things that they do. It's like human sacrifices of old. They would play a game that was a cross between lacrosse and basketball, and the victor would slice the head of the loser's, team. And there were sacrifices that were done by their gods. And those are the kind of things that you see in a lot of these killings happen around these shrines, like the shrine of Santa Muerte.
So this is an indigenous cult that goes back centuries. Does that give the cartel a firmer grip on the lower class that they smuggle across?
Well, there's a distinction between the people and the cartel and the way the people worship these saints and the way the cartels use them. Because for the people, it's part of folklore, it's part of culture. It's also what's there for you when institutions like the Catholic Church or like, you know, the government, when they forsake you and abandon you. Who never forsakes you, right? It's the saints that you believe in. But with the cartels, it's much more important, because when you've got cartel members who are going to prison, how do you keep them loyal? One way is the tattoos, which are sometimes known as sacrifices of the flesh. And you're giving up your flesh to the gods so that they look after you. So yes, does it give them power and control over the people? Of course. But you know, what gives you more power and control than the combination of this sort of deep faith and the worst, most terrible and terrifying tactics of violence that you can ever imagine? Like, for example, cutting out the heart of a young girl while she's still alive.
And they use that to justify their killings and, I guess, keep the rest of the cartel soldiers in line to make them believe that this is sanctioned and this is okay. Right. So does the Biden administration understand the intelligence of this? I mean, you're coming at this from a really granular angle, very detailed, very well explained. Do they have a strategy to combat the cult phenomenon with the cartels? Because essentially we're having a cult control our own border.
Yes, the strategy is open the border and let them all come in and do whatever they want and make as much money as they want, pour drugs into the country, use the children that they're bringing across the border for whatever reasons they want. And why do I say that? Well, because if you ask the cartel leaders, that's what they'll tell you, right? I spoke to one just recently, and I asked him about the unaccompanied minors coming across the border, and I said, what is this? And he said, it's our workforce. I said, what work will they do? And he said, well, some of them will sell drugs, and some will do ordinary jobs, and some of them will do the things that nobody wants to imagine. I said, what, like child porn? He said, yes. Child prostitution, yes.
Oh, God.
And even child snuff videos. So, you know, I mean, the Biden administration knows everything that you and I are talking about. None of this is secret, Jesse. It's not like, you know, it's not like you can't research and find out about the cartels. It's not like the FBI hasn't documented this. It's not like, you know, anyone following the cartels doesn't know about this. It's a growing phenomenon within the ranks of the cartels, because as they become more powerful and they have more to lose, it becomes more important to control both the cartel members and the population around them.
I'm just shocked that this administration is allowing the importation of underage children from Central America to participate in snuff videos. Laura Logan, everyone go watch her Fox Nation specials. You're going to really see some stuff that no one else has been able to uncover. Thank you very much for digging into that, Laura. We appreciate it.
The battle over critical race theory in classrooms raging across the country. The true history of race in America next.
Every day's a holiday. Let the beat take you away. Let the beat take you today. Baby, this is magic. Every day's a holiday. Let the beat take you away. Let the beat take you today. Baby, this is magic.
Fox Nation is America's streaming platform with exclusive daily content featuring the voices you trust.
Want the truth about America? Then you've come to the right place.
As other media outlets are shrinking and pushing for censorship, we will not be silenced or canceled.
Listen to real and unfiltered conversations on Tucker Carlson today.
Your refusal to apologize for something you didn't think you should have to apologize for is kind of the reason you're successful.
100%. It's our greatest blessing and our greatest curse.
Get the hottest takes on the nation's biggest issues with Dan Bongino.
In here, nobody tells us what to say.
Plus, on Fox Nation, you can stream primetime all the time.
We'll keep telling the truth. America is an amazing country.
What actually matters is keeping our country from falling apart.
Why do they always give a free pass to Joe Biden and other Democrats?
If you missed last night's show on Fox News or want to watch it again, you can stream it on Fox Nation commercial-free. All your Fox favorites all in one place. Stream anytime, anywhere, exclusively at foxnation.com.
So what's going on?
I'm a talking dog.
The other issue?
Oh, I'm scratching like crazy.
You've got some allergic itch with skin inflammation. Apoquel can work on that itch in as little as 4 hours, whether it's a new or chronic problem. And Apoquel's treated over 10 million dogs.
Nice. And the talking dog thing?
Is it bothering you?
No, itching like a dog is bothering me.
Until dogs can speak for themselves, you have to. When allergic itch is a problem, ask for Apoquel. Apoquel is for the control of itch associated with allergic dermatitis and the control of atopic dermatitis in dogs. Do not use Apoquel in dogs less than 12 months old or those with serious infections. Apoquel may increase the chances of developing serious infections and may cause existing parasitic skin infestations or pre-existing cancers to worsen. New neoplasias were observed in clinical studies and post-approval. Most common side effects are vomiting and diarrhea. Feeling better?
I'm speechless. Thanks for the Apoquel.
Aw, that's what friends are for. Ask your veterinarian for Apoquel. Next to you, Apoquel is a dog's best friend.
Training our bodies helps our minds. To go after the moments which develop us into who we are. This is why I use iFit. This is Nordic Track.
Have you ever seen something so beautiful that all you could say was, wow? Beaches, Turks, and Caicos, where anything is possible because everything is included. Wow. Get up to 65% off. Call 1-800-BEACHES.
Got bugs in your house? Get Bioselective Zevo. Deadly for bugs, safe to use around people and pets. Bioselective Zevo. Way smarter than bugs. Now at Walmart, Target, and Home Depot.
Duluth Trading Fire Hose Fabric outlasts. Four-wheeling, two-wheeling, corn whispering, cornholing, shearing, chilling, chili dogs, real dogs, dad duty, DIY, date night, late night, nosy neighbors, fiery feats, truck stuff, going Dutch, 9 to 5ing, 5 to 9ing, no service, and service required. Fire hose every function. Only at Duluth Trading.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Welcome to Fox News Live. I'm John Scott. The deadly toll in the wake of Hurricane Ida worsens. Earlier today, the bodies of 2 more victims were found in central New Jersey, bringing the number of dead there to at least 27. President Biden will visit the storm-ravaged regions of the Northeast on Tuesday. Mr. Biden's trip will include stops in Manville, New Jersey, and the Queensboro of New York City. Ida was the 5th most powerful hurricane ever to hit the U.S. Damage estimates are running in the billions of dollars. Alabama reports a surge of coronavirus cases among students and staff as public schools open their doors for a new year. 9,200 cases reported there. The climbing numbers are forcing more than half the state's school districts to switch back to remote learning. I'm John Scott. Back now to Water's World.
Kids are going back to school, and so far at least 26 states have introduced bills or taken steps that would restrict teaching critical race theory because we don't want these kids being indoctrinated. But the Biden administration says, I
don't think we believe that educating the youth and then leaders of the future leaders of the country on systemic racism is indoctrination. That's actually responsible.
She's not telling the truth. I recently spoke to civil rights vet and author of the book Red, White, and Black, Rescuing American History from Revisionists and Race Hustlers, the Bob Woodson. Tell us in about 30 seconds the problem with critical race theory being taught in class.
Critical race theory, in the old days, used to call it stereotyping. Instead of saying that all blacks have to live and eat and sleep and carry themselves in such a way, we're saying white people are stereotyped, that they are guilty of supremacy, of being privileged, and all white people are evil because of racism, and all blacks are victims. That's simply put.
So it overgeneralizes.
Used to be called stereotyping.
Right, stereotyping.
Exactly.
All white people, all black people, all Hispanic people. It's not like that. It removes individualism.
Used to be called stereotyping.
Right. Okay,
Right.
good. All right. So I just started this book this morning, and just found a lot of great nuggets in here that I had no idea about, and I was a history major. It never trickled down to me, or I just maybe missed that day in school. Tell us some things in your book that most people don't know about the history of race in the United States.
Well, first of all, the false history is that the challenges facing large swaths of black Americans today, out-of-wedlock birth, the crime, the violence, the lack of economic parity in these cities, that's a legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. It's not true. In our essays, we go back to tell the real story of black America. It was never defined by slavery or Jim Crow. For instance, when whites were at their worst, blacks were at their best. When we were denied access to hotels, we built our own. Every major city, the Wallahaji Hotel in Atlanta, the Calvert & Calvert Hotel in Miami, the St. Teresa, I could go on.
And
we
you
were
talk
also,
about schools, too.
And schools. The education gap in the South in 1920 and 1940 was 3 years, 8 years for whites, 5 years good. Booker T. Washington partnered with Julius Rosenwald, the CEO of Sears. He put up $4 million. The black community matched it with 4.8, and they built 5,000 Rosenwald schools in the South. And they were operating with used textbooks, half the budgets, but they closed the education gap between 1920 to 1940 within 6 months.
And you talk
6
about
months, we did that.
The danger of guilty white Americans always trying to help black Americans. And sometimes that help does not materialize the way it
Jesse, I would rather confront the old-fashioned bigotry, because they're hurting us with the helping hand. Between 1930 and 1940, when racism was enshrined in law, the black America had the highest marriage rate than any other group. Because of our Christian faith, our belief in families and self-determination, elderly people could walk safely in that community. Chicago, in the Brownsville section, blacks had 731 black-owned businesses in 1929 and 100 million in real estate assets, and the out-of-wedlock birth was under 9%.
And a lot of
I could go on.
And a lot of the money that's pouring into helping black America doesn't always get to where it's supposed to get, because you say the race hustlers actually make money off of trying to help black America.
We've had, in one sense, we've had reparations for 60 years. It was called a poverty program. $22 trillion, Jesse. 70 cents of every one of those dollars did not go to the poor. It went to those who served the poor. They asked which problems are fundable, not which ones are solvable. And as a consequence, we created a commodity out of poor people where there's a perverse incentive for them to be uplifted. And so what we have done in this essay is pull the covers off of this exploitation and began to tell the real story of black America. One interesting, in fact, there were 20 slaves who were born slaves who died millionaires. And 2 of them went back and purchased a plantation on which they were slaves. And one of them, Robert Smalls, took in the destitute family of the slave owner in an act of what I call radical grace.
I love that phrase.
So what we're doing at
this book is
the
tremendous.
Woodson Center, we
Red,
want to
white, and
replace
black.
critical race theory.
Rescuing American History from Revisionists and Race Hustlers. It's a collection of great essays edited by you, and I implore all Americans to get this book because it's eye-opening. Thank you so much for writing it and editing it, and we're very appreciative of you coming on the show.
Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate the opportunity.
The UFC's Dana White steps into the Watters World Octagon next.
Or do my bad habits lead to white eyes stare into space? And I know I lose control of the things that I say. Yeah, I was looking for a way out, now I can't escape. Nothing happens after 2, it's true.
Introducing Aleve X. It's fast, powerful, long-lasting relief with a revolutionary rollerball design. Because with the right pain reliever, life opens up. Aleve it and see what's possible.
This old toilet won't quit. It's fine, though. I'm a member of American Home Shield. They cover items no matter their age. Oh, shelves clean.
Yeah, we'll share our home address for French fries.
It's easy to be unsafe.
So I gave your birth date for free parking.
That's how I got this robe.
Now it's easy to help protect yourself. Opt in to cyber safety at Norton.com.
With the timeless protection of ADT, it's safe to say...
Hey, Google, unlock the front door.
Or it's safe to say... With ADT, it's safe to say...
Nap time.
When you've helped save more lives than any other home security brand, it's safe to say... There's a reason millions of people trust ADT to help protect what matters most.
Hearing is important to living life to the fullest. That's why inside every Miracle Ear store, you'll find a better life. It all starts with the most innovative technology, like the new Miracle Ear Mini, available exclusively at Miracle Ear. So small that no one will see it, but you'll notice the difference. And now, Miracle Ear is offering a 30-day risk-free trial. You can experience better hearing with no obligation. Call 1-800-MIRACLE right now and experience a better life.
So, who here struggles with clogged gutters? Let's take a look at some damage caused by clogged gutters.
Clogged gutters did all that?
Absolutely.
That looks like our house.
Who climbs ladders to clean their gutters?
Dad, I keep telling you it's dangerous.
Climbing ladders is too dangerous. Once our ladders go up, you can put yours down forever.
So how does it work?
Leaf Filter's three-piece system filters out leaves and debris, letting water flow through freely.
Do we need to replace our gutters?
Great question. Actually, Leaf Filter could be installed right on top of your existing gutters.
That will save a lot of money.
Do I have to pay for an estimate? No, it's free. And you'll get a free gutter inspection, too. We're sold. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or go to getleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate. Call or log on today and save 15%.
This is the sound of an asthma attack. That doesn't happen. This is the sound of better breathing. Fasenra is a different kind of asthma medication. It's not a steroid or inhaler. Fasenra is an add-on treatment for asthma driven by eosinophils. It's one maintenance dose every 8 weeks. It helps prevent asthma attacks, improve breathing, and lower use of oral steroids. Nearly 7 out of 10 adults with asthma may have elevated eosinophils. Fasenra is designed to target and remove them. Fasenra is not a rescue medication or for other eosinophilic conditions. Fasenra may cause allergic reactions. Get help right away if you have swelling of your face, mouth, and tongue or trouble breathing. Don't stop your asthma treatments unless your doctor tells you to. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection or your asthma worsens. Headache and sore throat may occur. This is the sound of Fasenra. Ask your doctor about Fasenra. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
The UFC taking off like a rocket ship, revenues, ratings skyrocketing. One big reason why? They've stood firm against the pandemic insanity, PC police, and all this attack on free speech. Here's UFC President Dana White on how and why the UFC stands up. In the UFC, it's a hot event, and here's why. There's no media bias. There's no racial drama. It is pure action. It's not rigged at all, and people get what they pay for. Is that why, in your opinion, it's so attractive right now? It's just unpolluted from the rest of the garbage that's going on in this country.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, we you know what? I look at professional sports as when you, the consumer, tune in, you're looking to block out all the stuff that's going on in the world and in your life, and you just want to be entertained for however long you watch my show. And yes, first of all, we're the most exciting live event in all of sports, and we're awesome on TV too. So and I try to keep it, strictly sport.
How have you guys managed to avoid all this racial controversy? This racial stuff has just intruded on every institution, every single institution in this country. But for some reason, the UFC has totally risen above that. You don't hear about racial controversy in this sport. Why do you think that is?
We're a global sport. We have fighters from all over the world. I mean, three of our world champions right now are African born in Africa. We have world champions from Russia. We have world champions from Brazil. So, we have people from all over the world, and there just doesn't seem to be any of that in our sport.
When you guys were reopening during the pandemic, you guys had a bunch of mainstream media reporters just heckling you and trying to, cause drama. Was that your first taste of the mainstream media? And what was your assessment of that kind of journalism? Because we're used to it. I didn't think you were.
That's funny. So I went through a couple of different phases in my career. We were used to the media attacking us, calling us human cockfighting and a blood sport, to no media covering us at all, to, then what happened during the pandemic. But, that stuff doesn't bother me. I could care less what the New York Times or any of these other people think.
All right. Well, that's a good attitude to have. And you guys are just counting a lot of money over there. Good job. You've probably taken hundreds, if not maybe over 1,000 of my dollars. So it's been worth it. Thank you very much, Dana White. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. They're known as Karens, and they're freaking out across the country. We're going to show you some of the craziest meltdowns caught on camera. That's next.
Fur, you won't faze me. Unlike Zyrtec, Allegra won't make me drowsy.
Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. So trees, you won't take me down. When allergies attack, take Allegra.
Before your symptoms take over you.
Live your greatness.
I was getting run down. I was coaching. I coach all the time. I work early in the morning. I needed energy. So I started taking Balance of Nature, and I could coach better. I could hit the ball harder at my players. I can make an overhand serve, which I have not been able to do in a long time. And my players noticed too, like, you've got more energy.
Balance of Nature does give me that peace of mind. Instead of trying to isolate certain vitamins and minerals, you're taking the whole thing. I mean, I think it's the closest thing to actually eating real fruit and vegetables.
With Balance of Nature, immediately I noticed that my energy levels picked up. Even with not a lot of sleep, I could function and be the mom I needed to be for my son.
Start your journey with the best fruit and vegetable product on the market by going to balanceofnature.com or by calling 1-800-2468-751. And don't forget to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer by using discount code Fox News.
Don't settle. Start your day with Secret. Secret stops odor-causing sweat 3 times more, and the Pro Vitamin B5 formula is gentle on skin. With Secret, outlast anything. No sweat. Secret.
No sweat. Dan Bongino on Fox News Weekends.
Crime up. What are they doing? Trying to blame it on Republicans. This is insane.
Unfiltered with Dan Bongino on Fox News Channel.
Introducing Glass Office Chair Mats by Vitraza, the premium alternative to cracked, curled, and worn-out plastic mats. Now you'll always get a smooth, easy glide because super strong Vitraza glass chair mats made right here in the USA are engineered to hold over 1,000 pounds and never dent. They're also protected with a nanotech coating, and they're beautiful. Comfort, style, durability. A Vitraza glass chair mat will completely transform your workspace, home office or office. Buy direct at Vitraza.com. We're so confident you'll love it, we give you a lifetime warranty and a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. It's the last chair mat you'll have to buy, I promise. Give up on worn-out plastic mats and get the look you deserve. We stock 18 popular sizes and we'll ship free right to your front door. Use promo code SUMMER to get 15% off any glass chair mat this Labor Day weekend at Vitraza.com.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma